The Senate race in Connecticut coming down to the wire. Republican candidate and former WWE chief executive Linda McMahon spent more than $40 million reportedly on ads to beat out Democrat Richard Blumenthal. But can those ads sway independents who make up more than 40% of the state's voters? Joining us right now is Connecticut Republican Senate candidate Linda McMahon. By the way, Richard Blumenthal, we invited him. He declined to join us. Good morning to you, Linda.
Good morning, Steve. How are you?
I'm doing fine, but do you really have time for this interview? Shouldn't you be out shaking hands and kissing babies?
I'm going to be doing that all day long. I'll be primarily out in the eastern part of the state today. I think we have about 9 events scheduled. It'll be pedal to the metal all the way through when we run across the finish line tomorrow.
Okay, and speaking of the finish line, right now your internal polls, I understand, have it in a dead heat, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much a dead heat going into tomorrow. And I'm really pleased that the voters in Connecticut are really, I believe, going to show an incredible amount of courage to send someone to Washington who is an outsider, who's not, been in political life or in government life. But I've been in the private business sector, and I believe I bring something, to this race that others don't. And Steve, we've already got 57 lawyers in the Senate. I don't think we need another one. We need people with real-life business experience, and that's what I'm going to bring to the table.
I know there have been a number of Democrats who have backed away from Barack Obama during this campaign cycle, but Mr. Blumenthal, in fact, had Obama there for a second time this past weekend. He's had Clinton out on the stump as well. The Democrats are throwing the kitchen sink at you.
Well, they are, but, really, what the issues are here in our state is like where they, what they are all over the country, and that is jobs and getting our economy back on track. And we really do need to make sure that we can create jobs in the private sector. And that's it's so important, because as I've gone around the state, that's what I've heard over and over and over again. How are we going to get back to work? I lost my job. I'm a single mom. I'm a working mom who, my husband can't retire. I've got kids that have graduated from college that have moved back in. They can't find jobs. And, those are real issues that the folks here in Connecticut are looking at, and they're demanding change.
I know we just cited the poll, the number on how many people are still on the fence today. As you travel the state, what's your closing argument going to be?
Well, I can tell you that I'm finding that more and more the undecided vote is coming my way, and as I talk to them, they just kind of want to have that last outreach, and as I stress what I would like to do to create jobs, here in Connecticut, to get our economy back on track, to reduce the size of government, to keep our taxes low, and to create that environment of certainty to allow businesses to grow. And I think that's what they want to hear. But they also want to know that you're in touch with them, and that's what I've found most as I've traveled around. They know I've walked in their shoes before. When I've been bankrupt and lost everything, I know what it's like to be afraid of missing your mortgage. And so I do connect very well with the voters here in Connecticut.
And you've got a whole bunch of voters' hands to shake today, so we thank you very much for joining us from Stamford as you sprint to the finish. Linda McMahon, we thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much, Steve.
You bet. And once again, we did invite her opponent, Richard Blumenthal. He declined.